So as I was researching home security and everything I could do to keep my home secure, one of the most disturbing things I discovered was this thing called the bump key. And a bump key is essentially a free pass that a burglar can use to gain access to enter 95% of the homes in this country. That's no exaggeration. Uh, Almost everyone that has a deadbolt, and there are some people don't even have deadbolts, and that's a whole other issue. But 95% of the deadbolts in this country are from the big lock companies, and those have pin and tumbler mechanisms inside of them, and those can absolutely be compromised using a bump key. So the bump key is simply a key where each position in it is cut to the deepest possible depth. So sometimes it's called a 999 key because each position is cut down to a level 9, which is the deepest cut you can have. And each groove in the key corresponds to a pin in the lock. And so what someone is able to do is take this bump key, put it inside the lock, and by banging on the key with a hammer or a mallet, even just the handle of a screwdriver, you essentially transfer that force from the key into the bottom pins of the lock, of the deadbolt. And that force is then, on the bottom pins, bumps the top pins, and it pushes them up past, it bounces them or bumps them up past the shear line of the lock. As that happens, that lock can now be rotated and, in fact, opened. And the really disturbing thing, on top of everything else, is that there are so many locks out there that are advertised as being bump-proof or bump-resistant that aren't at all. I'm not sure how they're able to get away with this, but these locks, there's videos of them on YouTube that are supposed to be bump-resistant. There's videos of people, in fact, bumping them with a bump key. Now, the good thing is that a bump key only works on a specific keyway. So if you've ever taken a key and put it in a lock and realized, oh, that's the wrong key, but it still fit, that means it had the same keyway. So if it has a different keyway, it won't even go in the first place. So the downside, though, is that the KW1 keyway from Kwikset is on, I think it's over 50% of the locks in this country, and then the Schlage, the SC1, the SC4 account for another 25%. So it's at least 75% of the locks in this country have only those three keyways. And so those are by far the most common. If a burglar has even just those three, he can get into almost every home. And any pin and tumbler lock essentially can be compromised by a bump key if someone simply gets a key that fits that keyway and then has the grooves cut down to level 9. That's it. They can get into that lock. They can unlock that door using that bump key. So this is one of the major threats we really have to address when talking about the home security for our homes.